Wasn't planning on doing 2 videos today, but they met with the media. And by they, I mean Chris Greer, Tua Tagovailoa, and Xavier Howard. So buckle in, grab some snacks. This might be a long one. Let's jump into it. What is up, fans? No beating around the bush, because we got 12 minutes from Tua. I think we got a good 20 from Chris Greer. I'm gonna try my best not to stop too much, but I got things to say, so let's not beat around the bush and let's react to these pressers. If there's some redundant stuff or some things that aren't necessary, I'll probably cut them out. So if you want to watch them, go on the Miami Dolphins YouTube channel. Well, let me pop it up.
What's up, guys? Omar.
What's up? Dang. They let you back in?
Oh,
Dang, my man. Okay.
Shots
Good
fired.
to see you. Just started.
So what have you learned, though?
Obviously learned how to fall. Learn how to fall. Learn some grappling techniques. Learn some other things, too, that I don't think I should disclose. But for the most part, learn how to fall. You think it's easy. Just don't fall and hit your head. But, I mean, there's a lot more to it.
So I got a lot of pushback when I kind of laughed at the fact that he's taking jiu-jitsu, and I don't think it'll help as much as people think. Now, again, I never said it wouldn't help. I said I don't think it'd help as much because in the spur of the moment, in that moment where you're getting wrapped up, it's hard for you to go through the techniques. Now, he could be, master it, and then all of a sudden he can. It's like it's like a sixth sense that he has where he can do it. But my point of kind of giggling at it was when you're in that moment, when you're getting sacked, it's hard for you to be like, all right, jiu-jitsu, do this, do that, do this. I'm not saying that jiu-jitsu can't help people fall. I'm not saying jiu-jitsu isn't able to. Never said that, and that wasn't my implication. My implication was trying to equate that and trying to use it in the moment of you getting sacked. I feel like I don't know if it'll work, but we'll see. We'll see. I really hope I'm wrong.
Say that to specifically for us that don't know about judo. How did they teach you?
I mean, we used like crash pads to land on first with trying to fall. Obviously, with tucking your chin, that was one of the deals, but it went a lot more into the technique of how to disperse your energy when you fall, kind of like the posture you want to be in, and if you're not presented that posture, what are other things that you can do to help you disperse the energy when you fall. So it's a lot of those things, and it's actually a lot cooler than you think when you hear of learning how to fall. Yeah,
If
That's
I can
true.
follow up, if
Wrestlers
you have a
kind of
split second to
learn how to
think,
fall.
I mean, how does that work? Because if you're being sacked, how does that work?
well, I've been falling a lot this off season, so I think just like anything else, you continue to train it, you continue to work
That's
at
what
that.
I just said. Yeah.
It becomes second
That's the
nature.
question that I just said.
And when a situation like that does happen, it's not something new that's presented to you. And for guys at my position, we barely get hit, if that, throughout practices, throughout the off season, even going into training camp. We don't even get touched, until
Preseason.
the season starts. So, I mean, with jiu-jitsu,
I hate that it's
been
glitching.
thrown airborne.
I don't know if that's me or if that's them.
I've been
But I
put
hate that
in
it keeps
many
glitching.
uncomfortable
Driving me nuts.
positions, for me to learn how to fall and try to, react throughout those positions that I'm getting thrown around in.
How would you describe the last 4 months? I know that it's probably been a while since we've been in this position with you, but the past 4 months of Christmas Day, the day after, being in the protocol, missing playoff game, just kind of all the emotions. Just how has it been for you, kind of personally?
Well, it's been hard throughout the ending of the year last year. not being able to finish the season off the way we wanted to finish the season off last year. But this is a new year for us. This is a new team that we have, and we're all really excited. And it's cool to have a lot of the big names in the locker room now, and those guys are some great people.
Just a quick follow up. I know there was a lot of talk about you, about what you should do and whatnot. I mean, truthfully, through it all, was there any thought about walking away or whatnot after the second time you put in protocol? And just if not, what kind of led you to have that confidence to not really consider that?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think I considered it. For a time, having sat down with my family, having sat down with my wife, and having those kind of conversations, but really it would be hard for me to walk away from this game with how old I am, with my son. I always dreamed of growing, playing as long as I could to where my son knew exactly what he was watching his dad do. And
I could feel that.
Yeah, I mean, it's my health, it's my body, and I feel like this is what's best for me and my family. So, I mean, I love the game of football. If I didn't, I would have quit a long time.
That right there. So many people last year and the year before, not last year, but 2021 and 2020, questioned his love for the game, questioned his dedication to the game. And it always rubbed me the wrong way. But yeah, it's also like you look at DeMar Hamlin, right? He just got cleared by the doctors to play, which I'm ecstatic for because the man literally, he died on the field and he's going to play again. They get these players go and they get not just one, not just two, not just three, maybe even multiple opinions, and then they make their decision. They sit down with their family, all that stuff. So, it's his decision, and he's not. It's not like he got a concussion, and the team was like, "Well, you might want to think about it," and he was like, "I'm going to play tomorrow." He went through his process.
Aside from falling, what other areas of your game this offseason have you been focusing on?
Well, there's been a lot of areas. Obviously, strength work has been really big throughout this offseason for me with, getting my legs under me, kind of, building my upper body, building around my neck, my core. All of that has been taken into consideration, and been doing a lot more, to try to help myself, sustain the season.
So what are the exercises? I'm interested. What type of actual exercises help build up the strength around the neck area?
Yeah, we have like this neck device that we use where you clip it onto like one of the pulleys, and so I'm able to do 4-way directional head deal, and then also you have manuals where someone is resisting or trying to hold your head down, and then within the four ways going side to side and then back and forth,
building up
you have
those
manuals, and that's really what we've been
traps
doing to help build that up.
So part of the process of learning how to fall, you had to see what happened to you, right? You had to watch it.
Yeah.
How tough was it to watch? And then if I would have just done this or done this, that has to creep into your head.
Yeah, it wasn't tough to watch. It wasn't tough to watch. I want to get better at everything that I can do to help the team win games, and I know the biggest one is my health. Staying out on the field, and so looking at the film, I was able to watch that with my jiu-jitsu coach, and we were able to, kind of relive the scenario in how I got tackled, how I fell, and it wasn't just...
See, I'm very curious. I don't ever want to see this though, but the way he got tackled in Cincinnati. Oh my gosh, he had the ball in his hands and he got whipped down. Like, because wrestling, if you watch wrestling, they take bumps where, you fall across your shoulder blades, and, you boom. That's why whenever wrestlers hit the mat, boom, it's loud because they take a bump and their head is up. They tuck their chin and they smack their shoulders. Like, is that kind of what they're teaching them? I'm interested, but it's like the way he got sacked.
One particular game, it was, multiple ways that I got taken down and how I could have prevented that.
When I talked to some neurologists after the season, they said there's no medical evidence that concussion or multiple concussions increase the chances of concussions 8 months, 9 months, 10 months later. It might be immediate aftermath, but not that long. Did they tell you that, or what was the thing that neurologists told you that made you feel best about continuing to play?
Yeah, they told me exactly what you said. They also told me that CTE wasn't going to be a problem. It's only when you're constantly, hitting your head against something.
That makes sense.
So I think that tailors more towards, linebackers, O linemen, D linemen, guys that are,
never see quarterbacks with CTE
going at it. So it, that also played into the factor of, my decision making and wanting to come back and play.
That makes sense.
First time since your high school career, you have the same play caller back-to-back years. How do you think that continuity is going to benefit you at the quarterback position?
Yeah, I mean it's been a lot better of an off season knowing that I don't have to learn a new system. I don't have to learn new formations, new motions.
It's just going to get better. I'm telling you.
New cadences. It's good to know that I already have a year under my belt within the offense. And, there's always going to be nuances, but, it's not like a drastic change. So this is really good. This is good because of the guys that we have as well that have been with us last year.
Continuity.
In the same system. And we're all really, really excited to get things going.
Were you close to playing in the playoffs, or was that not a possibility?
I am not sure. I was going through my process with Kyle and just trying to do everything I could to get better. But at any point, whenever the team, Mike or Greer would have approached me and asked me if I were ready, there's no question, no doubt in my mind that I would have stepped up to the plate and answered the call.
Especially to that last point, 100%. If Tua could have played, if they would have said to Tua, "Hey, we need you," he would have been like, "All right, I'm good." It was the team that held Tua out. Some people that don't like Tua like to say he got benched. He didn't get benched. It was helping him out from himself, like they said. Some really insightful stuff from Tua. They really did focus on him and the jiu-jitsu and him on his physical health and him on him getting better. I learned more from him about the jiu-jitsu part and how they're teaching him how to fall. Again, just want to reiterate, me giggling about it wasn't about laughing at jiu-jitsu. I actually respect jiu-jitsu. I took, not jiu-jitsu, but I took a form of martial arts for a couple of years. So I respect all that. For me, it was, again, like he even said, they're trying to teach him and have it be repetitive. Because when you're getting sacked, and it's quick, it's a quick motion of getting sacked, do you have the time to, okay, this is what I got to do? But like you said, the repetitiveness is going to help him. But some informative stuff there, they more wanted to know about him physically, more wanted to know about what he's doing and how he is and all that stuff. I really did like that he kept talking about things he needs to work on to get better. And I really love that he talked about this is his first time as an NFL quarterback that he's in the same offense for 2 years. every year, 2020, 2021, 2022, new offense, learning cadences, learning routes, learning terminology, learning that. Now he's going to get a better grasp on it, probably more audibles, more comfortable. Tomorrow, like I said, I'm doing a video about Jalen Hurts' contract and how that's going to affect Tua and all that stuff. And I'm going to talk about quarterbacks that are in the second year in a Kyle Shanahan offense and how much it helps. But it was a good presser. Good to hear from Tua. All that good stuff. He still has the stash. He's looking good. Somebody got upset that I called him fat, and then called me fat, which, yeah, I'm bulky. I'm a bulky man. I was joking. If you're on Twitter, you notice that people saw his video of him working out and called him fat, and I think it's absolutely ridiculous. So let's now go to Chris Greer and see what he has to say.
You filming?
Yep.
Try rolling your wrist, dude.
So this is Chris Greer and Marvin Allen.
Hey, welcome to the funnest interview of the NFL season for you guys, where no one says anything. So I guess I'll start it off with my usual. Excited for South Florida sports teams this time of year with the Heat and Panthers, and Marlins off to a great start too as well. So wish all those teams in the playoffs luck, and we'll probably have a crew over there watching a couple games here in the next few days. So, but other than that, fire away.
Chris, wanted to ask you a couple things on right tackle. At this point, is your thinking that Austin, that the expectation is that he will be your starter? And also, are you keeping in the back of your mind, are you and Mike keeping in the back of your mind the possibility of moving Robert Hunt to right tackle, or would you prefer clearly to leave Chico?
It's always right off the start. It's the best. It is the best.
It's my only question.
Yes, the expectation is Austin is as the starter at right tackle. We're excited for him. I know he was frustrated with some of the injuries last year, but he's been working hard. He's been doing a lot of stuff here in the off season. Having Tehran around, here with another year, being around him for a year in the off season will be tremendous value for him. And for us, we'd like to see Robert stay at one position right now, stay at guard, where, again, you've heard me say it here many times, I think he has tremendous potential, and it is already, I believe, a very good player at that position in the league.
The expectations are that Austin Jackson is the starter. I'll take that with a grain of salt. I'll take that with him just saying right now. I will take that with him looking at players to add. Because someone on Twitter said, why are you, and I already mentioned this in the draft video that came out earlier today. Go check that out. Why are you okay with Tua but not Austin Jackson? And that's because Tua showed me things. Tua showed me things in a bad offense. Tua showed me things with coaches that weren't helping him. Austin Jackson really didn't show me anything, especially last year. So we'll see. We'll see if they actually. I don't think they're going to bring in legit competition because they would have done it by now. I don't know.
To the Hurts contract and how it may or may not set the value for quarterbacks moving forward in this league.
No, I'm happy for him. He's
Talk about
a good
Jalen
kid.
Hurts.
I met him years ago with Mike Loxley at Alabama, and I gave him I told him I was proud that he stayed, the year when Tua beat him out, where a lot of these kids transfer out and go places. So happy for him. For us, at the end of the day, it's a piece of information. We monitor it, but there's going to be other quarterbacks here coming up still. Who knows how soon, but so the market will fluctuate based off those. So for us, it's happy for him and the Eagles getting it done. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really move our needle until we have to do something.
So along the lines of that, the team decided to exercise Tua's fifth-year option fairly early in the process compared to how you have acted. I know Mike spoke about the thinking, but I was wondering if you kind of give your perspective as well. As you said, everything is open in terms of an extension. Is there any possibility that you've discussed that, or just want to kind of
Yeah, I mean, we've had a lot of internal discussions between, Mike, Marvin, Brandon, Steve, Tom Garfinkel as well. So all options are on the table, like I said then. But, for us, we decided that for us, and we always hope Tua will be here, successful long-term with us. And at the end of the day, we made this decision and decided to move forward in the offseason to get going.
Just like a follow-up to some Tua, we're going to hear from you. The process of checking off all the boxes to ensure that be as healthy as you can. What was that process like for you?
Yeah, it was like, a lot of discussions with, our doctors, with Tua, just formulating a plan. But I think once we talked to, specialists, and he met with specialists, too, and the people he met around the country, everyone felt comfortable, him health-wise. And so when those boxes were checked, we were fine and decided just to move on and looking forward to him working and doing all the things he's been doing in the offseason now to help him for next season.
Tua kind of hinted at this during, I believe, Super Bowl week, but just to clarify, did you guys essentially shut him down after the concussion on Christmas Day and not allow him to progress until the season was over?
No, I think when we went through the process, it still used to be cleared by, the league people as well, too. So it was just our process of going through it, working with the league and with Tua going through it. So that's all it was.
Okay. That's suspicious. That's suspicious. He said that he went through the league process, but he was held out. He didn't come out of concussion protocol until, I think it was after the Super Bowl. I don't know about that.
Can you tell us a little bit about the process of that landed Jalen Ramsey in this building?
Yeah, it was, you guys have heard us talk for years about opportunities. We always investigate and do that. So we did our work. They reached out about him. Les and I have known each other for years, and we've talked.
I think they're talking about.
So we had talks for a couple weeks, and then at the end of the day, for us, it made sense for the player of who he is after we talked to people around him, and so we're very excited to add him. He's been a very good player in this league. Still think he's a very good player, and he has a good relationship with Xavier. So
yeah, I was
they were excited. Xavier texted me right away when he saw it. So I think for us, it was the opportunity to add a very good player at us. So we're very excited.
If I can address this one to Marvin, when Channing and Eric were selected last year, was the expectation kind of always that maybe they would need a year before they could really make some kind of impact, more than just on special teams?
Yeah, I think when we selected them, we knew the progression for both of them would be, in the future. So you get guys and you want to give them a chance to sit back and learn and do some things on special teams, but knowing that their value would be much more down the line than it was like immediately.
Marvin, to get your thoughts on Tua, where he stands 3 years through and the future for him.
Well, I think he's went through the protocol, and we have all the faith in the world in him, and so he's our quarterback, and we think moving forward he's going to be the quarterback that gets us to where we want to go.
We heard Coach McDaniel talk about the story of kind of bringing his tape to you guys, the entire building last year on the Mike Silver podcast. I don't know if you guys heard that. I was curious, your guys' perspective on when Mike was so fired up that night of watching the tape and bringing it to y'all.
Well, I think Mike was excited to work with him even before that. He had watched, some film of him, but he knew him from the draft. But I think once he got here and really dug in and got to spend time, and, because obviously he was busy with the 49ers and they were on their playoff run, and he put together and strung all the stuff that made sense for his offense. I think he showed it to everyone in the building. Just going around, he was so excited that I think he pulled an all-nighter putting it together, and he was so happy when all the scouts came in. So I saw it like 5 times. So it's just okay, I get it, Mike. He's good, and you're excited. But yeah, the relationship the two of them have, and watching them how they work and communicate, and it's pretty cool to see.
Chris, how much progress do you feel you've made in the Wilkins extension talks?
Yeah, I've had some good talks with his agent. As I've always said, we're going to keep those conversations private. But Excited for Christian. He's a very good player here. You know how we feel about him. We've talked about what he's done on and off the field for us. So we're still working through it, but hopefully we can get him here and keep him here for a long time.
I keep hearing that they're close, they're far away, they're close, they're in contact, they're talking, they're close, they're far away. It's going to be interesting. I think it'll happen this offseason, but I don't think it'll happen before the draft. It'll probably happen around June 1st, where they get cap space from Byron, and it might happen around there. Or it might happen, the closer if they get Dalvin Cook and want to do a contract extension with him.
Football executive family, your brother's the first Black GM in NHL history. Can you explain briefly on the role that your father has played in you being to where you are today and the impact that he has with you and your brother?
Yeah, no, it's just being able to grow up watching.
Chris, what's been the thinking so far, not adding another tight end besides Eric, who you signed, and a backup defensive tackle? Are those positions you think you could address in the draft? What's your thinking there?
Yeah, I think, our approach is we're evaluating every position, going through it very thoroughly to every position. We've had our 30 visits that you like to track, and you do your work, your Inspector Clouseau stuff on it. And, for us, it's every position. So we brought in guys that have from basically every position except quarterback into the building. So for us, we're always looking for good players that compete for roster spots, because that's how we get better with competition.
For both of you, when you look at your roster, and you look at what's in the tight end room right now, what do you see? How comfortable are you? And transferring that forward, what do you see in this tight end draft class? A lot of people have said it's quite talented and deep. I wonder if you agree.
I'll talk about our room, and I'll let Marvin talk about the draft class. With us, our room, we're happy with it. Obviously, you know how we feel about Durham. We've talked about Durham for a long time. Letting Mike leave was he earned the right to be a free agent. Obviously I drafted him. We've talked in here before about how I feel about him. I'm very happy for him, other than he went to New England. So I said I got to root against him twice a year. But very happy for him. But we're excited for some. Eric was a good addition for us. And Tanner we feel has good upside. So we're going to keep looking to add at that position some competition. But we're happy with the guys there, and especially how Durham leads and what
you got. 3 tight ends in the room. You got 3 tight ends on your roster.
He provides for our team.
They're going to draft a tight end.
What does the addition of Ramsey say about where the organization stands relative to a window opening to pursue the biggest goal of the Super Bowl? Are you all in? Has the all-in window open?
I think, where we are is we have a competitive roster that we feel we can win games with, and it's not done, obviously, with the draft here still, and even post-draft there'll be signings. So, again, opportunities to add good players to your roster, we'll always do that and pursue it, and Steve Ross has given us a lot of flexibility to do that, which, I don't think he gets enough credit for allowing us to do that. But for us, I don't really look at it as windows. It's just opportunities to add good players and then keep building a roster that gives you a chance to compete.
For Marvin, last year,
I know being draft capital, what it is this year, it is what it has been with only 4 picks. Have you guys explored trying to move up? Would you like to move up a little bit?
I was waiting for someone to ask that one. We've had a couple teams in the bottom half of the first round reach out about saying they would be interested in coming down possibly if their guys aren't there, and if we'd be interested in moving. So for us, we'll, again, any opportunities we can to get a player, we'll look at it. But no serious conversations, but we've had those, and we'll keep those options open.
And that is why I'll be live streaming Thursday, day 1 draft till the end, which is probably going to be very late. But that's why, because we don't know. As long as they don't give up a first or a second next year, which jump from 51 to the 30-ish, 29-30 is a big jump. So they might have to, but they also can give up players. They could do certain things. I'm not never say never.
For Marvin, I know last year when the team traded for Tyreek Chris said that you were able to kind of provide insight on the type of person, type of player Tyreek Hill is. From the time in Kansas City, what did you see, not maybe on the field but off the field, that told you that he was right for the culture and right?
Well, just when he got here, just to see him take a leadership role, and I saw the same competitive spirit I saw in Kansas City, where he competed every day, and we didn't have a defensive back on the roster that could cover him. And when he got here, I felt the same way. You know, I mean, he could run by anybody, but just to see him take the role in the locker room as a man that's, you know, matured and became a leader and was, you know, held accountable, was really, you know, great to see.
I want to again, I'm not going to show everything because there's some things that they say that are kind of redundant, but some interesting things there. One, possible trade into the first. Now, he said he's had calls, but it doesn't mean it's a definite thing. Doesn't mean that they're trying. A lot of teams probably are trying to trade back, so it depends on what we give up if they happen. Like I said, I'll be Thursday. I'm gonna be live streaming the whole thing. You never know. Might trade into the first. Other thing, Austin Jackson staying at right tackle. He said he's the starter for now, or he's the starter. Yada yada. We'll see. It does make me very apprehensive and nervous, but we'll see if that sticks. If that continues to be a thing. Talks about Tua and Jalen Hurts' contract. I'll talk more about that tomorrow in that video, because Jalen Hurts' contract is definitely going to affect the other three quarterbacks in the 2020 draft. So I'm making a video about that tomorrow. Overall, the presser was all right. He had said the PC thing, which is politically correct, about Christian Wilkins, the tight end room. There's 3 tight ends. You're going to add a tight end. But we'll see. We'll see how this pans out, but the only thing that makes me nervous is that right tackle. Last thing we're going to do is real quick listen to some things that Xavier Howard had to say.
So what makes this offseason so different in terms of participating in the offseason program instead of training on your own?
The new defensive scheme, I got to come in and understand the defense is a new scheme, so, I just got to get used to it.
It is a different defensive scheme. What are you most looking forward to? Because it seems like over your career, we're used to you, being a man-to-man guy. Looks like you're gonna have a little more zone looks. What are you looking forward to?
I'm just on the second day of OTAs and stuff like that. So we study trying to learn some new stuff, and even though it's gonna be different, I'm sure there's gonna be a couple men in there, especially with the guys who got outside. So I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be a challenge this year for me to learn something different and play in a new scheme.
See, what I like, though, is it's not all on him. He doesn't have some, an undrafted or some, rookies or anyone. He has Jalen Ramsey on the opposite side of him. So I think he can go back to being X and continue to cook and continue to, put himself in a situation where he's going to get the interceptions. He's a ball hawk. That's what he is.
So over the years of Vic Fangio from afar and then now in work.
The defense has always been top 5, so he been doing a good job at that. So, looking forward to having him on my side now, and improve our defense.
Do you feel like your strengths could be playing a lot more zone?
Yeah, I get my eyes on the quarterback. It's gonna be something different. I'm not looking at the quarterback, so now I get my eyes on the quarterback.
He's older. He can't play man-to-man as much as he used to.
That'll help my game.
You can level with us now. The season's been over for 3 months. How much did your health impact your performance in 2022?
Say that again?
You were dealing with injuries in 2022. Obviously, you didn't want to talk about it much at the time,
yeah.
But in retrospect, how much did it impact that play?
I'm healthy now. All I needed was some rest. Little growing injury here and there, week in and week out, and especially playing defensive back. Playing a lot of man also, so it put me down a little bit, but I'm better now. I feel like I'm gonna do better this year also, so I'm just ready for it.
Give you a little tidbit there of Xavier Howard. It's a short presser. There's only like a couple more minutes on there, but he's healthy now, and like I said, he's got Jalen helping him out. I honestly think Vic Fangio is going to put him in the best situation. That's what Vic Fangio does. He takes the front 7 and the secondary, and they puts them in the situation where they can thrive. It's the same thing that Mike McDaniel does to the offense. So I really think we're going to get the X of the old, but also we got to realize Father Time always wins. So that's why when they asked him about playing zone versus man, he's probably more interested in playing zone, because now he could trust the guys behind him. He could trust the guys to his left if he's on the right side, trust the guys to his right if he's on the left side. I'm interested. You know, people call me a two in ear, two a stan, all that stuff. I'm actually an X stan. Go back to the beginning of the channel. I'm a huge Xavier Howard fan. I defended the crap out of him, and then he had the 10 interception year, and I was like, I told you. So I'm very interested to see what he can do, and especially teaming him up with Jalen Ramsey, and then Nick Needham's back, and Trill Williams will be back, and, you know, Cater Kohu is showing up, and it's going to be very interesting. I'm very excited for it, but that's what I got for you. Comment below, let me know what you think of everything you heard, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Like I said, I got a special video planned for you guys tomorrow, and then I'm going to do my first mock draft on Friday. No trades in this mock draft, but comment below, either in this video or tomorrow's video. Comment below, let me know what site you want me to use, because I'm going to do about 3 or 4 mock drafts. What site you want me to use, and if there's settings, what the settings are. But on that, like usual, stay classy. Offense up.